The collaborators' white supremacy exists in the negative space. They agree racism exists. They agree we should oppose it. But they disagree that any individual thing you're talking about is an example of it. Getting a Republican to identify an actual incident of systemic racism is like trying to point at your shadow with a flashlight. And it's reasonable to ask, Jesus!
How? Okay. Why should any Republican listen to Ian Danskin about anything when Ian Danskin has spent the first half of this video calling all Republicans racist collaborators?
They shouldn't. They should tell Ian Danskin to fuck off.
Right.
Yes. How far can these guys push the envelope before the rest of the establishment calls them what they are? But if you're waiting for the moment a white moderate agrees mainstream conservatism has done something unacceptably and unequivocally racist, you're underestimating how long white people can equivocate.
What fucking world does he live in? What world does this person live in, Adam?
It's all equivocation, Sitch. Just all I hear is equivocation all day long. All I hear all day long is white moderates making excuses for racist Republicans. That's what I hear. I hear it on the news.
This is like insane.
Yeah, no. There's a bunch of excuse makers.
What? Joe Biden's first campaign video
Don't bring that up.
bringing up Charlottesville.
Don't bring that up, okay? Come
That
on.
was his very first thing, was bringing up Charlottesville.
That's why he ran for president.
Yes, he said the reason I ran for president is because Donald Trump is racist.
Yeah, that was his opening salvo. Remember how he had Kyle Rittenhouse in the ad about white supremacy?
Yes. Oh my God, I forgot about that. There was a
Kyle
flash, the image of
Rittenhouse.
Kyle Rittenhouse. Yes. Or what the fuck, Ian
Charlottesville, Kenosha.
The mainstream narrative was that Kyle Rittenhouse was racist.
Yeah,
Okay. What are you
that
fucking
still is the
talking
mainstream
about?
narrative.
When Ron DeSantis and in Florida, when they passed literally the most milquetoast law that basically said we don't want to have racism in schools, okay, a law that Martin Luther King Jr. would have done backflips to get passed in 1968, okay, when that law passed, all the mainstream media said is Ron DeSantis and Florida Republicans are racist, and that's why they're passing as well. I know I can hear the you need the cat to like stave off like the insanity of Ian Danskin.
This cat's such a talker. Oh my God.
I know. Chris, we'll have a cat break.
Sorry.
That's good. We need something refreshing after all this.
A palate cleanser.
Yeah, we need a little adorable palate cleanser.
Okay.
You need to have that cat exercise. It looks a little fat.
That's the winter. The cats put on weight during the winter time. Come on.
I don't know about the muffin cat. Yeah, muffin cat.
Yeah, that's the muffin, not Wormy.
Yes.
Come on, Wormy's sleeping.
Ragamuffin's got a muffin top. Okay, he's got to work on that.
It's a she too. How dare you?
She's got to work on that. Okay.
How dare you fat shame my cat?
Hey, Aiden. Aiden says, I 100% agree with Wormy's point. It's based, I'll bet, spicy. Well, there you go. I am fat shaming Ragamuffin. Yes. Listen, it's not healthy. Anyway, back into the fray. Back into the fray of insanity. The world where the mainstream Democrats don't call out the Republicans for being racist.
This is the bubble that these people live in.
Jesus Christ.
That nobody in politics is calling anybody out for being racist. They're just, all politicians are just racist, and
I know.
No one talks about race. Race is the big problem. Wouldn't it be great if we actually had an adult conversation about race? No, nobody ever talks about race in politics. Never happens.
Oh my God.
A lot to say about the white moderate. And I'm about to be that lefty who expends as many words complaining about liberals as he does fascists.
Look, another quote of his script. Another script screenshot.
So I want to make a video at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I got to read Dev's book, Neither Right Nor Left, to do this. Make a video about how socialists and fascists have far more in common with each other than either of them have with liberals.
Of course. That would be a great video. I support this video.
Yeah. They hate, I mean, this is what the socialists and the fascists have so much in common with each other. They have almost the exact same worldview and almost the exact same political ideology. They just change, it's like Mad Libs. They just change some of the nouns around a little bit about who's to blame for the problem. You know, is it class that is it the rich elite to be blamed, or is it the degenerating elite, you know, insert ethnic group that's part of your country that's creating the problem?
Right. Yeah.
So,
no, it's all about blaming some outgroup.
Right. It's all about blaming some outgroup that's hypnotizing the majority of people into buying into some false narrative or something.
Right. Progressives say that all the time. That's like their go-to move. Like,
yeah,
people would vote with us if they just weren't being brainwashed by all of our enemies. That's how they think.
I know, it's so silly.
Did you watch any of that debate with Jessica Burbank and Styx Hexenheimer 666?
I turned it off after like 13 minutes.
You should have skipped to the halfway point, because the second half is way better.
Well, it's like, it's just so annoying because the topic of it was the debate was about whether there should be unions or not, right?
I think so.
Labor unions.
That's a boring debate anyway. Why?
Well, it's a boring debate, but it's also a very complicated subject that has a very complicated answer. And I don't want to hear the person on the side of the labor union just giving a bunch of like insane woke communist talking points about how, well, the reason there are rich people in America is because, you know, the evil rich elites with guns took all the resources like 200 years ago and have been sitting on them ever since.
But that's the insane
and that's
part.
why we need labor unions. And you're like, what?
That's the insane part, though.
I know, but I don't want to. That's totally insane.
Did you see her
ridiculous.
Smoking weed during the debate? She's totally puffing on a.
No, but I guess that tracks.
That's hilarious.
That tracks.
And then in the debate, she literally said that the people who were against being in a labor union were too dumb to realize that it was in their best interest to be in a labor union.
Of course.
Yeah. Oh, man. That's so infuriating that people think that. To think that you know someone's personal situation. Oh, it's so infuriating.
But look, as much as this series is about the tactics of the far right, it is at least as much about how the center left is susceptible to them and complicit. Okay, when a Democrat loses an election, what happens with the white liberal pundit class? Well, there's suddenly a lot of chatter about how to talk to your racist uncle over Thanksgiving, about how liberals in red states can contact their representatives, about the value of debate. This is our fault, they say. We let this happen.
That never happens.
What the fuck is he talking about?
There's never any.
Help me, God.
I know.
Please help me.
They never do that.
No.
When Hillary Clinton lost the election in 2016, and he shows a picture of Hillary Clinton, what the left did was say, America is far more racist than we had anticipated.
Yes. Yes. That's what the only people that were saying otherwise was like Bill Maher and like the handful of like heterodox liberals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was it. Every other mainstream source was that was Democrat was saying,
right.
we can't blame ourselves. I mean, some they would blame Hillary Clinton, say she ran a bad campaign, which is true. But most of them would say, she lost because it was just so racist and all Trump won all the racist votes.
Remember the white lash comment?
They're literally saying the Ian Danskin worldview. They're saying exactly his worldview to him, and he stares at them, mouth agape, like a mouth-breathing, retarded fish dying on land, and he says, "Oh, so you're saying the opposite. You're saying it's woke people's fault. I knew you were all racist."
Yeah.
I've never seen this in my entire life. I've never seen someone that...
You've never seen an idiot?
I've never seen someone who literally just sees the exact opposite of what's happening so consistently in one YouTube video. I've never seen this before to this extent.
Yeah. And someone who thinks of themselves as, an intellectual. This is so low tier stupid. It's beyond me.
This is beyond low tier stupid. We're in the fucking bizarre. This is like Ian Danskin is like Bizarro Superman. He must be a Bizarro Ian Danskin who came into our universe and he just says everything backwards. And that's why it makes sense to him. We don't understand that he's just saying everything in reverse.
Remember the Van Jones, who is actually a black moderate, not a white moderate. But Van Jones came out and made the white lash comments right after the election.
Yeah.
What we experienced was a white lash. White people striking out at us. I mean, Trump didn't win. Trump didn't win the popular vote, so I mean,
right.
How big a white lash really was. It's just so ridiculous.
Oh my God.
Welcome to Ian Danskin's world.
It's insane. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be in Ian Danskin's world. It's scary and weird and wrong.
What would the world be like if liberals actually did take the blame for anything? I mean, that would be a foundationally different world.
What would be the world if anyone ever took the fucking blame for anything? Okay.
Well, I do feel like conservatives play the game more after they lose an election. I do feel like they have more of that. What did we do wrong? What
really?
Could we get better? Kind of.
You want to say this after the last election?
Well, not obviously the last election is obviously the last. Well, I mean, there were certain factions that were. There are plenty of factions that were in that. Okay, we fucked up this time. We need to. Well, actually, yeah, totally. Well, I mean, I've read a few books by people that were obviously
the fucking with the president who's for the Republican Party, or who is the president. When Donald Trump is like, it was all stolen. It was all election fraud. It was all stolen. It's like the exact opposite of taking responsibility. That's the most non-responsibility you could take for a situation.
Trump is definitely in the "this is not our fault" category for sure.
Okay.
I cannot defend Trump.
Right.
Yeah. Trump is, unfortunately.
Yeah, not big on responsibility.
Well, he would have been he'd be in a much better place for a 2024 run if he hadn't done a lot.
Oh yeah, he would be he'd be in a very strong place right now.
Right.
Well, actually, I disagree. He wouldn't be, because presumably he still would do all the stupid shit with the documents.
Well, many of our fans do. Every time we mention him, they send me something showing Donald Trump is doing great. So
okay, we'll see. We'll see.
I'm always amazed.
Because we didn't have enough conversations with white conservatives. You hear a lot more of that talk than about how the gutting of the Voting Rights Act cost a lot of the left the right to vote, and what could be done to guarantee their representation in the next election. In fact, you hear a lot more about how that kind of talk is alienating to the white conservatives who supported gutting the Voting Rights Act. About how reaching across the aisle is going to mean...
What Republican voter gave a fuck about the Voting Rights Act, or even knows what's in it, or cares about it at all? And it's like, I'm going to vote Republican because I'm in favor of gutting the Voting Rights Act.
I don't think anybody cares.
What the fuck is he talking about?
Well, they care about getting their voters. And
yeah, the politicians care, but I'm saying, like, he's making it seem like the Republican voters were turned off. Someone thinks the average Republican voter was turned off voting Democrat because the fucking Voting Rights Act conversation.
No, of course not.
Easing off the... at least for now. POC representation is quickly reframed as a critical long-term goal, but in the present moment, while we are competing for elected office, guaranteeing the minority vote is a luxury.
He doesn't... This fucking buffoon.
Yeah, total
this
buffoon.
Stupid moron. He doesn't understand anything about the current political landscape.
Nope.
He has everything backwards. The reason Biden was able to beat Trump and Hillary Clinton lost to Trump was because Biden was able to pull out more minority voters.
Yeah.
That's literally the current Democratic strategy right now.
Well, they're in a weird position because if they lose just 5% of the black vote, like they can't win elections. Yeah.
Right.
So what he's saying is ridiculous.
Has literally everything he says is backwards and wrong and stupid. He's the dumbest fucking person on the face of this earth. Okay. This is shocking. He understands nothing
about
what's going on currently politically.